Okay, so I haven't done a video in a long time. I'm feeling kind of awkward about it, but I figured I would talk about my process when I'm kind of drawing certain illustrations and stuff. I usually like to do time lapses, really short and quick ones, but I haven't posted any on here in a long time. So I figured, why not? Eventually I'll do like a different version, like where you can actually see me working directly on the tablet. But lately I've just been hitting record and just kind of filming the process. So, why not just kind of talk about it? I have used... Okay, so here I have Clip Studio Paint open. I have the X version, but I don't think there's that much of a big difference where like you would need X unless you're doing like specific things like webtoons, for example. I use it because of some of the features that you can have while making webtoons and stuff. But aside from that, I like Clip Studio Paint because you can use these models and you can set them up in any like pose that you want, and then it makes it very simple to create poses or something like dynamic if you want. It's like I struggle with anatomy, but it's something I'm still practicing. But when I want to do like a quick fun illustration or something, it's useful, especially for webcomics. I use them a lot for webcomics because I just don't have time to like constantly be trying to figure out how the body is supposed to work in a certain pose or a certain angle that I want. So this is it's a useful feature, really useful. So I have my two characters here kind of posed where one's leaning on the other. This is going to be Adonis and Nora. They are new characters from my webcomic 𝕳𝖊𝖑𝖑𝖵, which is available to read on Webtoons now, also on Tapastic. But yeah, I kind of like quickly do a sketch over the pose, the 3D models, and you can see I was about to do line art there, but I changed my mind. I was like, no, it's gonna take too long. I'm just gonna like fix up the sketch, clean it up a little bit, which is kind of what I've been doing a lot lately with my illustrations. It makes it easier and quicker without getting too caught up with like having to draw over everything again and do like really nice line art. If I'm in the mood for really nice line art, I can do that, but yeah, I feel like the workflow that I have for my comic is kind of gravitating towards my illustrations as well, because when I work on my comic, I do a very ugly sketch, and then I just immediately draw over that sketch, and I won't like do an ugly sketch and then a nicer sketch and then line art. No, I just do an ugly sketch and then I will immediately go into like some line art, sketchy line art, but like clean it up, which is what I'm doing here. I'm like just cleaning up the lines a little bit, and then I'm adding the facial features. So here I have, I was going to have her with eyes closed at first. I think I ended up changing it a little bit. I can't remember if one eye is closed, one eye is open. I don't remember. But you see, I'm kind of just cleaning up, and also cleaning up the anatomy a little bit, because I start to realize like my instincts tell me that the anatomy isn't really correct. So I'll go in and fix things up. Okay, so we're back. Here I am still working on Nora's face. The eyes I put in... I used to really struggle a lot with eyes, especially getting eyes looking similar, because sometimes you just copy and paste the eyes, right? And sometimes I'm too lazy to like copy and paste, which is weird because it takes longer to actually draw out the other eye, but I've gotten a bit better with that. But in this case, like the eyes are going to be different. So one eye is kind of closed because it's up against her hand, and the other one is like kind of sleepishly open. I don't really know what else to say here. Oh, here I'm using like some features that kind of help to map out the structure of the face. I've been trying to like practice more. Here's me leaving a little note. Yeah, practice anatomy, practice the face, the head. I've tried. I think I've gone a lot better. Definitely compared from, you know, like really old drawings that I used to do. But okay, here I love drawing hands. I've done a few studies with hands that have helped me kind of like get better with drawing hands and understand it a little bit more. So yeah, I always have fun when I draw hands now. Now we're moving on to Adonis. Again, I'm going in and just cleaning up that original sketch that I made. Now, I've really sped up a lot of this video because it's like, it took me 3 hours to finish it, and I don't think anybody wants to see a full length drawing process. I mean, unless I could draw something really quick, you know, in under an hour, maybe I wouldn't mind like doing the full actual drawing process of that without speeding it up. But this, yeah, I sped it up. I think the sketch, the like really rough sketch, took about 20 minutes, and then I started cleaning it up. So, because I don't know if I should call it line art, because it's not technically line art. It's just literally cleaning up the original sketch a bit and then adding in the features and stuff, which I think I go in and clean up a little bit of the features as well. So I don't remember how long it took me to do this part. Probably about an hour or something. Coloring doesn't take me very long because I color very lazily, and you'll see that later once we get to that part. But yeah, just drawing in Adonis's features. I do want to practice drawing different kinds of facial structures and stuff. I've been starting to practice more, but it's still a struggle. I also want to draw different bodies and stuff and different kinds of like hairstyles. I think in order to get away from like the same face syndrome, you really gotta like focus on, I think the tip would be to do eyes differently and noses differently, because doing the actual like face shape in general, like when you do the jaw and the cheeks, some people are more like round, some are more squared, more oval. I feel like that is a struggle for me for some reason, because it just never looks right. So I need to find a way for it to look right in my style. But yeah, I gotta practice with that more. But for the most part, I think I have Adonis and Nora down a little bit. The thing that really bothered me with this illustration is that Nora's head looks ginormous for some reason. I think I tried to resize it a little bit later on, so in the end it looks a bit better, but it's still, I don't know, it still bothered me, so it is what it is. Okay, now we're getting into the clothing. The clothing I did in basically like a line art. It's still kind of messy, like it's not perfect line art, but I guess it just depends what you want to consider line art and whatnot. This is my line art. In a way, it could be way better. I could like really polish it up, make it much nicer, but you know, I was just having fun with this illustration, so I really didn't care too much about making it perfectly crisp and stuff. I feel like that's just not really the style I do anyways. But I did have a lot of fun. I love practicing clothing and like wrinkles in clothing and stuff. I definitely could use more practice because some of it doesn't look right, but you know, Here I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna attempt these little ruffles here, so I just used a brush from the asset store. I have so many assets, okay? Like, I'm on there every day, all the time, looking for things. I'm trying to cut back a little bit because I forget what I have and don't have. And yeah, but they're really helpful for like comics and whatnot. But when I do illustrations, I do try to practice more on my own with things. But if I'm just having fun, you know, I'll cheat a little bit. You know, resources are there for a reason, so you know, you gotta use them. Especially when you just want to have fun with things. Okay, I think we're gonna start getting into the hair. Yes, I love hair. Hair is my favorite part. I love Nora's hair. She's got like very wispy, curly kind of hair. Wavy, more wavy than curly, I think. She's got kind of like my hair. My hair is a mix between curly and wavy. Some days it's so curly, and other days it's just like beach waves almost. And sometimes it looks like I curled them with like a curling iron, you know, but not really. Like it's like, it just really depends on having a good hair day or not. But yeah, she's got some wavy, curly-ish hair. It did take me a long time to figure out how to draw hair. Honestly, I wouldn't even know where to begin to tell you how I figured it out. I think I'm still figuring it out, but I've gotten a lot better with it from when I first started drawing, for sure. Now we're going into Adonis's hair. Here, his hair is a little bit more clean because, you know, he's a little bit dressed up a bit more. So he's got like some strands that are kind of tucked on the side. I don't know how to explain that, but usually his hair is very messy and it can get curly too, like wispy-ish curls where it's just kind of wild. Because he is a knight and he's very active, so I try to portray that in the way that he looks. Sometimes he goes days without like eating and not really taking care of himself nutritionally, so his body shape changes from like kind of more, you know, I don't want to say malnourished, but just more, sometimes he can go weeks without taking care of himself, so he looks a bit more scrawny. And then, you know, when there's not a lot happening, then he does kind of bulk back up. So I'm excited about that part. I'm excited to like show the little like details in the way that you draw the characters can tell a lot about their personality and stuff. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that little tidbit in there. Okay, I'm going into the details now with some of the hair. This is also my favorite part to kind of like, okay, this is like my way of cleaning up my messy line art. Is just adding in a little bit more strands, adding in a little bit more details, putting some like darker or thicker lines in some areas. As you can see, like how I did with Adonis's neck and Nora's neck, like under the chin. Putting in some more like detail in the hair and stuff, some more strands. Yeah. See, when we zoom in, you can see how messy my line art is. Oh my gosh. I don't really clean that up. I'm so sorry if that's gonna bother you. It bothers me, but when I'm having fun with an illustration, I don't care. You know, I just like how it's looking, and you know, some parts I will clean up, like especially around the faces. I try to pay more attention to cleaning it up around there, but other parts you can see it's a little bit like sketchy, I guess. Like where the sleeves are, they don't close all the way, if you can see that. Yeah. I was kind of struggling with her lips here. I like showing that there's actually lips and it's not just like a line, but I don't know how to get that style just yet to look cohesive with my style, basically, because I see it a lot in other people's style and they can pull it off, but I feel like I don't know how to do that just yet, so I'm trying to still figure it out. But I did a little bit here with Nora's lips, still trying to figure out how to do it with my males. But for now, you know, it's little by little. Like my art has been slowly transforming. Like it's looking way different than it did last year. So, okay, here's a little bit more details in the clothes now. Adding in the details with assets, brushes from the asset store. Okay, this is so much fun to do. There's so many amazing assets. I really want to be making my own as well because it just seems so fun, and like I have a lot of fun trying to come up with designs for clothes and details. I did reference some clothes on Pinterest that I found and just kind of tried to come up with something myself, you know, add different kinds of little details, but keep something similar to the style that would be in this setting, you know. Eventually I want to do like a modern AU of my characters because I'm having a lot of fun with them and creating their story, and I love them so much. I would like to see them in a more like modern fun setting, but I'm trying to think what kind of modern setting they could fit into, because it's kind of like it's hard to figure out. I think I need more time with them, like creating their stories and stuff and creating their personalities. Or the thing with my characters is I don't usually create too much of their personality because I like to see them evolve, and they just do so on their own. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like they start to come alive, and the more you work with them, the more you write them and stuff, you just pick up on what makes sense for the characters, and like based off who they are and the kind of decisions that they would make. It's hard to explain, but that's definitely another topic that I could talk about because I could go on tangents about characters and writing and stuff, but not sure if anybody would be interested in that right now. Yes, because this is my drawing process. Not too interesting. I don't know how interesting it is. I do enjoy seeing other people's drawing processes and like hearing their thoughts about it. It's always very interesting to see what other people you know, think about when they draw, or how they do certain things. This is me going back and fixing little mistakes, I believe, and also again cleaning up the hair a bit more. I used to hate line art. I used to hate it so bad, but I'm starting to come around. I'm coming around to it. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. As you can see, I did have like outfit designs of Adonis and Nora. Like I briefly right there, I briefly go over to the to kind of get like the skin color and the hair color because I don't have them down on my palette. So yeah, I reference it, but I like having those outfits out. Anytime I create a new chapter, or even here, like this illustration, I've created a outfit for them, just kind of, you know, from references and out of my head, whatever. And I will eventually go into those little sheets, create another like body of them. I just copy and paste the body because I'm not going to put them in different poses all the time. Eventually, maybe like when I start a new row, I could, just to keep it a little bit more interesting, because I like my character sheets to look interesting. But right now, that one is kind of just slowly building up. I have 3 or 4 outfits, I think, for Adonis, and I only have 1 for Nora right now, but now this is going to be the second one. So it's kind of like I'm creating a wardrobe for them at the same time. I'm keeping track of the outfits I put them into. That way I know what's in their closet, basically, or in their wardrobe. So that way, in future episodes, I can look back and be like, I don't know what to put them in. Oh, wait, they were wearing this in this episode, or this illustration. Let me like change them and mix and match some of the clothes that I know exist in their wardrobe. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to like nobles or like wealthier families, they usually don't wear the same thing more than once. But Nora is more of a commoner, so she does have to wear a lot of the same things. And Adonis's story is a little bit like, he's a noble, but he doesn't really like see himself that way. So he doesn't think traditionally as like, you know, what a noble or someone from a wealthy position would think like. So he'll wear some of the same stuff. So it just depends. But as like I try to make the world somewhat realistic, like with a little bit of realism vibes. I don't know how to explain it because it's still a fantasy world. But I just like to keep track of things so that way I know what exists in their lives or in their lifestyle, so that way I can always like revisit it in a way. And that's clothing is one of those. But yeah, I kind of just totally went on a rant over the over the coloring. I totally didn't realize we were already in the coloring stage. But anyways, coloring is kind of simple. I just put down base colors, and then I kind of go over with some of the pinks, you know, in the skin wherever they belong. I'm really not doing a lot of stuff here, just like gradients in the hair, in the clothing, and now I'm just doing a very lazy cell shade. I do cell shading. I would like to practice more with like more painterly type of shading. I follow so many artists and I love the way that they like render, and it's very kind of like painter-esque. But when I first started drawing, I only practiced cell shading, and so that's like what I know. But I'm trying to practice a little bit more with other styles of rendering. For now, with something just fun like this, just kind of, when I say something fun like this, I mean in the sense of I don't want to think too much. I just want to vibe. I just want to draw and enjoy drawing my characters, and, you know, using 3D models to help with the pose, and just drawing what I'm comfortable with and coloring the way that I'm comfortable with, and doing a quick sketch, doing a quick line art. You know, that's what I mean by like something more fun. It's just really more in my comfort zone, basically, because drawing anything can be fun. But there are some things, if I'm trying to like get out of my comfort zone and do something new and practice new techniques or something, practice a new rendering style, then I start getting into territory that's a little bit more stressful because it might not turn out the way that I like it. Like something's not turning out right, basically. But in this case, everything's going pretty smoothly, everything's going the way that I like it because it's in my comfort zone. So I'm happy with the way that I cell shaded this. It is a little bit messy. You can see like some parts are kind of chunky. I do think I go back in and like blend some stuff out or clean some stuff out. But now I'm trying to figure out the backdrop. Like I don't know what the heck to do with the background. They're sitting down someplace and relaxing somehow. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I just not do anything, or do I put something? And so now here I got the idea of like, okay, they're sitting on a couch, maybe let's make it like a little fancy couch or something. And yeah, you can see how I'm like very quickly putting that in. And here I'm using, what's it called? A brush again, to try and like create the ornamental piece of the frame of the couch. And then I go in with like this velvet brush kind of thing to make it look like there's some texture on the couch. You know, it's a love seat, and it's a cute one. So put in those little buttons, put in the way that it's what's it called? It's like the words on the tip of my tongue, but it's not, I can't say it. Anyways, it's gonna come to me later and I'm gonna be mad, but then I just put like this little makeshift couch that looks like he's, because he's clearly like laying his arm on something, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll just put this couch here. And there we go, backdrop, just very quick and easy, using another asset. I love assets, they really come in handy when I'm just wanting to do something in my comfort zone, having fun, just doing something short and sweet. Again, another asset with the lighting. There's these awesome window lightings. If anyone's interested in the assets that I have, I will definitely put in links, but I don't know. Next time, if it becomes like a demand, I'll do it, but for now, I don't think I'm ready to hunt these down because, gosh, there's so many, and okay, maybe I'll try. It'll just probably just take some time, but eventually it'll be in the description someplace. Okay, highlights, again, are assets. I will put in my own highlights, like I'll go in with right here, see I'm putting in some highlights because sometimes the brushes don't do it justice, like in what I have in my head or what I usually like, so I will go in and put them in manually in certain spots, and then I kind of like fade it all out a little bit. I like putting highlights in the face, in the skin. Now we got another gradient there, just kind of fixing up the lighting a little bit more. I'm getting a nice little vibe. So here we are, kind of really almost at the end, with rendering this puppy. Got some vibes going here, like just the atmosphere, because they're kind of in the sun, so I put some what are those called, sun dust. Those are also from the asset store. Very, very helpful to like make something have a little bit more texture in it. I'm gonna say texture a lot. And there we go. I think we're really pretty much at the end. I put my stamp all over the place because, you know, I don't know, trying to beat AI stuff. Alright, well that's gonna end it for this, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.